Okay, so this would be hopes or fears. So we have the Six of Coins. The Six of Coins is a coin, it's a card of generosity. It's a card of receiving a bonus. So this is a card of, us receiving money. It could be about a loan. It could be a gift of money. It could be a loan of money. But overall, it's about someone being generous and giving us some sort of money, or, a material item. But more times than not, this is about money. And typically, this card comes up if we're in a bad way and we need money. And this can be about receiving charity. But this could also be about, someone willing to help, but, they loan you money. So for some of you, you may not have to pay it back. And then others, it will be something that you would have to pay back. But, again, this is a hope or fear position, so it's not concrete, so to speak. Okay, so then it's clarified by the Three of Wands in the reverse position. So the Three of Wands, this is, I'm going to sum this up as this equals a lack of resources, not sufficient resources. So some of you probably fear not having enough money. Some of you could be involved in a particular project or a particular job in which you've invested your time, your money, your energy. This job could involve travel. This could be a partnership type of thing. This could just be a side project too. But it's one that, brings money. But when it's in the reverse, we're not receiving the proper amount of resources. So if this were a business, this would be like a very bad month. So clearly this seems like it's going to fall more under the fear category. It's like a hope and a fear together. Someone giving us the money, but then there's not enough resources here. But then someone could potentially loan us the money, but Okay, so for the final outcome, we have the Page of Cups in the reverse position. So this could be about a younger person in your life. For some of you, this could be about a child. Or this could simply be about the particular energy in which you may find yourself in, okay? Now, the Page of Cups in the reverse position. Typically, you're waiting on something to happen, okay? And it's either postponed or it's completely delayed, or things just might appear to be at a complete standstill. And when that happens, it can make you moody, withdrawn. You want to withdraw because you just simply don't want to deal with people because what you're waiting on is just not coming in, or it's delayed, or it's just, it's at a standstill. And this can make one very emotional. And I feel like Aries got this card as well. It was either Aries or Leo. I don't remember, but it was one of the other fire signs, I know. But again, it's like you are very emotional and you really need to speak, but you don't want to. It's like you just want to be left alone. Leave me alone. Let me, go be a hermit for a little while because I'm in a bad way. I'm in a bad mood. Just leave me alone. But really, there is a very strong need for you to communicate. You need to let loose of those emotions, because if you repress them, then there's going to be a tendency to just react rather than thinking. Because a lot of times with this particular energy of the Page of Cups in reverse, we may need to be ready to deal with some disappointing news that comes our way. And we don't want to be just overly reactive rather than thinking and then speaking and reacting. And so things being at a standstill or delayed again, can make you emotional, can make you a bit moody, broody. You just simply want to withdraw. You don't want to be talking. You don't want to talk about your feelings. I'm just saying it's necessary. You don't want to repress, because when you repress, you can explode like a volcano, and that is never good, okay? Never good. So just try the best that you can to speak. If someone, that you truly trust tries to talk to you, just do your best to open up the best that you can, because you really need to talk about it. That way, if things happen to not go your way, that at least you won't completely explode. You'll be more prepared for the situation if one should arise. You'll be more prepared on an emotional level to handle it. Okay, so we clarify, and we have the King of Wands. So, typically the King of Wands is Aries, but, it can be Sagittarius as well. So, with the King of Wands, he's a leader. Absolutely. Through and through, he is a leader. And he's very good at delegating responsibility with other people as well. But, he's also very willing to help others if they ask. You just have to ask. But he actually enjoys being able to help others and to teach others, how to take care of themselves. He's a leader. He's proud. He's confident. He's enthusiastic like Sagittarius. He's just a kind type of person, a kind disposition. He's always happy to be of help, to be of service, and to give advice, especially when someone in need needs it. But overall, he is a leader. And he's also good at getting others to see their own potential. But overall, I feel that the main message for you guys with this particular card combo, you need to have a positive outlook. And you need to be positive. And you need to have that confidence, okay? Because you can truly have anything that your heart desires. Manifesting, we tend to attract to us, what we think about, like a magnet. So if we're focused on the lack thereof of what we don't have, if we're focused on our failures, we can attract more of that crap to us. So I feel with this particular combination, you need to be confident. You need to believe in yourself. Now is the time to try to refocus your thoughts. As bad as you may feel, even if things come to a standstill, this is about learning. Okay? It sucks, I get it, but it's about learning. And no matter how bad the situation is, don't lose your confidence. Don't lose your enthusiasm, your optimism. I mean, you need to realize that you can do anything. You can literally move mountains with your positive thoughts, okay? So whatever this setback is, again, refocus your thoughts, okay? Take the lemons and make lemonade, okay? I'm serious. Y'all can do it. I believe in you. Now you need to believe in yourself. You got it? I love you guys. And I cannot be having Sagittarius all depressed and full of anxiety and not believing in their self. That does not work for me. And it ain't working for you either. So cheer up, damn it. Cheer up. We gonna get through this. Look, y'all's reading's gonna be all kinds of long. I'm sorry, but hey, some of y'all just need to have a longer pep talk than others, so, and Sagittarius just happens to be one of them this month. So, And like I said, I don't want y'all being all down. That don't work for me. Sagittarius, I love Sagittarius energy. And I don't want y'all being down like that. I need y'all. Y'all make me smile. Stay happy, please. Okay, so for the bottom of the deck, we got Seven of Swords in the reverse. So, yeah, this is an ouch card as well, okay? Whew, yeah, this can indicate theft. Now, for those of you that may be single and living alone, make sure that you lock all your windows. Make sure you lock all your doors. If you got a skylight, make sure that's locked too, okay? Just make sure that all those things are locked so that we can try to prevent any type of, unnecessary robbery, okay? That'll resonate with a few of you, but, just make sure everything's locked up. In this day and age, no matter where you live, we're not as safe as we may think we are. So we just need to, take the extra precautions this month. Now, for those of you who have been doing some pretty shady and sneaky and cunning, conniving type of shit, okay, get ready to get exposed. Because that's this type of energy. If you have been doing some pretty bad things, you're going to get outed. If you've been having a extramarital affair, whether, it's extramarital on your part or on the other person's part, with this energy, this is you getting exposed. So do be careful of that. Now, for those of you that are not involved in extramarital affairs, this is where you need to be careful, especially since there's so much of a focus on work here. Y'all need to be really careful about your ideas, okay? Say some of you might come up with a good idea at, your job, or maybe some of you are writing, for a job or whatever it may be. Be very careful on who you share your ideas or your papers or whatever it may be with, because plagiarism can come up under this under this type of influence. So you don't want somebody stealing your work and then taking credit for it, because ooh, God, that burns. Ooh, that burns. You don't want to deal with that situation. So do be careful at work. And this card in general is about deception. Deception is a big one that comes up, and sneaky type of behavior. So if you're not sneaking around, you always want to take a look around to see who is sneaking around. Be careful. Some of you may work at a place where you don't need to be very trusting of these people. Maybe you're a very trusting type of person. And if you are, then this energy is telling you need to be careful this month. Don't be so trusting. You need to prepare for the unexpected. And be very careful on what you share, because this is a very deceptive type of energy. But it's also an energy of things getting exposed. Now, this is also an energy where maybe some of you just are lacking self-confidence. Maybe some of you guys have decided to stay in the safe lane, so to speak, where you've just fallen into line with, tradition and with what's considered the norm, And this could be indicating that you need to break outside of that. Like you need to allow this change to happen so that you can move forward. Maybe you don't have the confidence in yourself. And maybe this experience will help you to gain some confidence in yourself. But overall, deceptions can come up and come into play. People getting exposed, again, can come up here. Be careful. A lot of times, if there's like a theft, theft can be an actual item, an actual material item. It could be money. It could be a theft of energy, a theft of someone's work, hence plagiarism. It could be many different things. Trying to steal someone else's woman, steal someone else's man. Now the thing here is with the Seven of Swords, something always seems to get left behind at the scene of the crime, so to speak. So if it happens to be something along the lines of cheating, maybe someone's earring may have fallen off in the car or in your bed, or maybe you find a man's tie or undershirt somewhere that it shouldn't be. It can go either way. It's like something is left, and it's left accidentally, but boy, can it start the exposure. So, yeah, be careful. If you've been up to some sneaky, shady shit, get ready to get exposed. I hope that you're not. So, and if you're not being sneaky, then like I said, y'all need to be careful. Beware. Now to clarify, we got the Knight of Cups in the reverse position. So perhaps some of you could have had an offer come to you. It could have been one of love. But my feeling is that for a lot of you, this will be more on the romantic front. It could be, platonic, but my feeling is that a lot of this is stemming out of love relationships. Perhaps, an affair was offered for some of you. Oh, I'd say no to that one. Unless you're just done with your relationship. And if you're done with your relationship, break up with them. Don't cheat. That ain't cool. It's just not cool. Treat others how you want to be treated. That's how I live my life. I don't do things to people that, I wouldn't like done to me. That's how I live. Treat people how you want to be treated. So if you don't want somebody cheating on you and, lying to you about it, then don't do it to others. If you know you're not happy in a relationship, be done with that. Break it off. Be done. Don't let it get to this point. Don't let it get to this point. But yes, this could be somebody that brings forth an offer. And perhaps it could be someone like the King of Coins energy, also paired with the Knight of Cups in reverse. Maybe they bring forth a proposal of some sort, but that's going to be some shady, unethical crap, so don't do it. I highly recommend you do not do it. They will get exposed, and you don't want to go down with them, trust me. Okay, so I pulled some love oracle cards. This is for the single Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs. So, for the first one, release your ex. What'd I just say? Don't cheat. Let them go. Be done. The time has come to clear your energy. Now, this card typically is about, especially for those of you who are single, perhaps maybe you're still focused on an ex of yours, or maybe you have a tendency to attract people that remind you of your ex. Maybe you're having a hard time having a relationship or getting into a relationship with someone else on the romantic end. And it's almost because subconsciously the other person can pick up on you not being over an ex. And so that's what this card's really about. It's saying that you need to clear your energy. You need to be done with this person. You need to take them out of your thoughts. You need to take them out of your aura, so to speak. You need to remove them out of your life. If you need to, say, get a pen and a piece of paper and write them a note. If you feel like you have unfinished business with them, you didn't get the proper type of closure, write it out on a piece of paper. Don't give it to them. Just write it out. And then when you're done, burn it. You can do this like in a metal bucket, preferably outside, okay? By a water source. Don't burn your house down. Or you can do it like on a grill, like an outside grill. be careful. Again, make sure you have an outside water source. That way, if things get out of control, you can put the fire out. But this is kind of like a form of trauma therapy, but it's really good in helping us to release things that are holding us back. And if you have an ex that you've just not been able to let go, maybe you think you've been able to let go of them, but maybe now that you're hearing this, maybe you realize, well, maybe I haven't, because I have attracted, a couple people that were pretty similar to so-and-so. Well, then if you can resonate with this, then you need to do this. Get that person out of your energy, out of your aura. Then we have forgiving and learning. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And this is about, yes, forgiving and learning, especially with our love experiences as adults. But this is also about forgiving our parents and learning. A lot of times we learn our relationship examples through our parents when we're growing up. And sometimes there can be a need to forgive and to learn and to move forward. And if you see, we got angels, loved ones that are on the other side here that are still watching over. So for some of you, someone could be passed over that perhaps you still need to forgive. Because when you can finally forgive the key people in your life, when you were growing up, the people who have hurt you, when you can learn to forgive them and move past it, wow. This will make you so much more attractive on every level. And then you'll be literally beating the people off to get away from you. Like, God, I was interested, but geez, I didn't want everybody coming at me, It's just, you got to bring your energy and your aura into line with it. And sometimes we just have things that are blocking us from our past, that we need to let go of. We need to forgive, learn the lesson associated with it and forgive. Forgiveness is more about for us rather than the other person, okay? We forgive so that we can let it go and we can move forward. Again, clearing our energy.